CSS selectors.
Yes.
What are all the CSS selectors? CSS selectors means HTML element style names. Okay. So for HTML element styles, some name will be defined in the style sheet. Are you clear? So the name of the
Yes, yes.
style is called CSS selector. So what will be defined as a CSS selector? There are three things will be defined as a CSS selectors in the style sheets. HTML tags. Next, let me write some document here. CS selector is nothing but is a name of the styles, name of styles. Okay, style defined in style sheet file. Okay, so what can be used as a CSS selectors? HTML tag, ID, and class can be defined as CSS selector. Are you clear? CSS selectors. Now, by using these CSS selectors, we can identify HTML element in the web page. So, how to define that CSS? How to use CSS selector to identify HTML element? That where we discussed a few options we have seen. There are different options, different ways that we can use CSS selectors to identify HTML element in the web page. The first type is by using only HTML tag, we can identify HTML element in the web page. How to use HTML tag in the CSS selector as a CSS selectors? CSS is equal to HTML tag name we have to define. Understand? And similarly, we can use class attribute value as a CSS selector. In the CSS selector, we can use class attribute value. How to define that? The class attribute value should be prefixed with dot in the CSS path. CSS equal to dot class attribute value. And we can use ID attribute value also in the CSS path. How to define ID attribute value in the CSS path? The ID attribute value should be prefixed with hash. The class value should be prefixed with dot and ID value should be prefixed with hash in the CSS path. See here we can use just a class value and here we are using only ID value to identify HTML element. And next we have
These are all unique. So are these all unique, sir? That
correct.
HTML tag, class ID. Huh?
No, if it is unique or suppose if it is not unique, it identifies
Hmm.
what is the meaning of not unique. For example, if I take HTML tag, this path, there can be multiple HTML elements with the HTML tag input, correct? In the web page.
Yes.
So in that scenario, it will identify first HTML element.
Okay.
If it is not unique, it identifies first element. If it is unique, it identifies a single element.
Hmm.
Understand?
Okay.
And similarly, we can define multiple HTML tags in the CSS path by separated by comma. Are you clear? We can
Yeah.
multiple HTML tags can be defined in a CSS path separated by comma, and we can define child HTML tags in the CSS path.
That's a once again above one, sir. Div input comma a na. These are all multiple tags, sir.
Yeah,
What are
correct.
the multiple tags here?
No.
One is
See,
div.
I will define
One is,
input comma a.
hmm.
Okay, input is one
Okay.
HTML tag, a is another HTML tag. That
Oh,
means
okay.
both the HTML elements will be identified here.
Oh, okay.
And we can define child tags in the CSS path. How to define a child tag? By separating by space. See, division is a parent tag and input is the child tag inside the division. How this parent and child tags are separated? By using blank space. Are you clear? In the CSS path, child element and parent element will be separated by blank space. In XPath, how it will be separated? By using slash. In CSS path, the parent and the child elements tags will be separated by blank space. Oh, sorry, ma. See here, it is not a direct child element, guys. Okay. So if you use blank space, it is a child element. Okay, input is it is a child element, but it may not be direct child element also. Are you clear? See what we define here to identify descendant element. Descendant element means it can be child or grandchild. Understand? So to identify any child element, it can be grandchild element also. We define blank space. To identify immediate child element, direct child element, we should define greater than symbol in the CSS path. Are you clear? Govin.
Yes, yes, sir.
See, blank space defines dissonant child element. Greater than symbol defines the immediate child element in the CSS path. And similarly, plus. See, the plus defines following. In XPath, we have seen following option, right? In the XPath, following. What is the following?
Yes, sir.
The last option. Where is that? Following. This one. Following. Following means to identify any element which is present below the current element. Is it right? So the same thing. In the CSS path, we use plus icon, plus symbol to define following option. The following option will be defined in the CSS path by using plus symbol. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
And similarly, here see, it is called, what is that? This is called, what is that symbol name? The special character. Okay, this symbol is
We
used
call it.
to define preceding elements, preceding option. It defines a preceding element, HTML element. Preceding means elements present above the current element or before the current element. Are you clear?
Both, sir. Above and below, no?
No,
Both.
no. See, HT1 element is preceding. Before this HT1 element should be displayed before this HT2. HTML tag 2, HTML tag 1. The HTML tag 1 is preceded. That means a preceding element. That means HTML tag 1 should be displayed before HTML tag 2 in the HTML file at any place, at any level. This HTML tag 1 can be parent or it cannot be parent. Understand? Plus means this HTML T2 should be displayed after this HT1. After this HT1, that means before below the HT1 tag, HT2 should be displayed. HTML tag 2 should be displayed. That is the meaning of plus. Are you clear? Hello?
No, sir, sir. HT1 plus HT2 is okay, sir. It's equivalent to following you said.
Hmm.
HT1 and the second character HT2, you said that it will come, it will identify the above element and below element. That is not.
Not above
Yes,
and
I
below
am.
element. This option
Yes.
identifies all preceding elements. So this symbol is equivalent
Okay.
to preceding in XPath. What is the
Okay.
preceding? What is
Yeah,
the preceding
preceding that
option?
is the,
This one,
yeah, in that
preceding.
following that is
It identifies an element which is displayed above the current element.
above the
Understand?
is
Okay.
okay.
And we can also define attributes in the CSS path along with HTML tag. Along with HTML tag, we can define attributes in the CSS path. In XPath also we can define. How do we define in XPath the attribute? By using at the rate of symbol, correct? At the rate of symbol
Yes, sir.
equal to attribute equal to value, like that we define. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
And see here we are defining just attribute name. See that here, only attribute name is defined here. Only attribute name, not value. That means how CSS path is defined here. Look at that here. CSS is equal to input with attribute placeholder. That placeholder value can be anything, any value, not a problem. We are not checking that value of placeholder attribute. Are you clear? It identifies input HTML element with attribute placeholder, but we are not checking here that placeholder attribute value. Understand? Because we are not defining here attribute value, just we are defining only attribute name in the CSS path. So but in XPath it is not possible. We cannot define only we can't use only attribute name in XPath. We should have to define attribute value also in XPath. Understand? See, how do we define in XPath? Say attribute value. Where is that? See here, like this. At the rate of ID equal to attribute value. Is it right? But in XPath, but in CSS path, it is possible to use only attribute name without attribute value. Understand? Let us try this one. Whether is it working or not. Let us check this. Input HTML tag with attribute name. CSS is equal to, I'm defining. First, let us see that for this text box, what attribute is there? Say data message is attribute is available, right? This is attribute name. Something new attribute it is. So I will use this one. CSS is equal to input within the square brackets. Define that attribute name. See, it is highlighting the first text box. Understand? We can define only attribute name in the CSS path. It is possible. And similarly, like in XPath, we can also define attribute name with value in the CSS path. Are you clear? So the same way we can use it here. What is a data message value here? Select this entire value, copy this. Data message is equal to, yes. Now it should highlight again same text box. See, it is highlighting. That means in a CSS path we can define only attribute name or attribute name with value. To define attribute name with value, we no need to define any at the rate of symbol here, like in XPath. Understand? Attribute name and
Yes,
this
sir.
one attribute
At
name
value.
and value. Name and value. Okay. Okay. And now come to this. See attribute. See this one asterisk symbol. We can use some special character asterisk symbol. Asterisk symbol defines contains function in XPath. In XPath we use contains, right? Same thing. We will define contains function by using asterisk symbol in CSS path. See, let us see that. Let us take the same example. See here, data message is equal to, so I can define like this. So here I can remove all these things. See that. I'm using partial text now to identify the first text box. I'm using partial text. We have to define here asterisk symbol. Are you clear? Because for this attribute, we are defining a partial value. We are not defining the full value of this attribute. We are defining a partial value of this attribute. Understand? So asterisk symbol should be defined before equal. So now let us try this. Check that is it working or not. Wait, ma, it is not responding. What happened, ma? Okay, now let me highlight this. Why it's not highlighting? Let me reopen.
Source source city is the value, sir.
See, ma, this is the full value, right? What is the full value of data message attribute here?
Data message. Please, please, please
This is
enter
the,
a source city.
yeah, this is the value of data message attribute, right? Now, from
Yes.
this value, we are defining a partial value in the CSS path, correct? We are
Okay.
defining here partial value.
Yeah. Like partial.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is what contains function will do in XPath, correct? So how we are defining
Okay.
contains function in CSS path? By using asterisk symbol. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why it's not highlighting? Something wrong? Okay, maybe single quotes may not be required. Let us see that. Remove this. Okay, no. Okay, it is highlighting now. Double quotes we have to use here in the CSS path. Okay, see,
Oh,
it is highlighting by
okay,
using
okay,
partial attribute
okay.
value. We are identifying this text box. So to define a partial attribute value in XPath, what is the function? Contains is a function. Understand?
Yeah.
Okay, with attribute
Okay, sir.
partial value. Okay, in XPath we are using contains method. Here it is asterisk. Understand? And the next one, this symbol, caret symbol. It is called caret symbol. It defines starting string. Attributes starting string. Identifying web element or HTML element by using attributes attribute starting string. Are you clear? Attribute starting string. So let us define it here. So if you take this one, same data message, what is the starting text for this? Please enter. Copy
Please.
this. Let me define that. So here I can remove this invalid city. I remove this. I'm defining only beginning of the attribute value, starting of the attribute value. Understand? So we have to use here. We can use asterisk also, because asterisk means it contains this text can be displayed at any place, at any position in the attribute. But if I use this caret symbol, where this string should be displayed in the value, at the beginning. Only at the beginning this value should present. Only then it will identify that element. Understand the difference? If I define a asterisk here, how it verifies? This partial text should be displayed in the value at any position. But if I use caret here, how it verifies? This string should be displayed at the beginning of the attribute value. Understand? See, it is highlighting. Suppose if I remove this please, if I remove this please here, it will not identify this element. See that? Because enter a source city is not a beginning of the attribute. Understand? Because we are using here caret symbol, this string should be a beginning of the attribute. But enter a source city is not a beginning of a attribute, because please is missing here. Now it is highlighting because this string is matching with beginning of the data message attribute value. Understand? Suppose if you remove this and if you use enter a source city, it is not highlighting. But if I use asterisk here, it will highlight, because asterisk means this string can be present at any position in the attribute value. Only this string should be displayed in the attribute at any position, not a problem. Understand? So with respect of the position, the defined value string should be displayed in the attribute. But when you define here caret symbol, the given value should be displayed at the beginning of the attribute value. That is the difference. So this caret symbol is equivalent to in XPath. What is that function? Equivalent function in XPath for this caret symbol. Govin, what is the equivalent
Yes,
function?
sir.
What is the equivalent function in XPath for this caret symbol?
That is it. Asterisk is the contents, but is the caret symbol is the starting, right, sir? From beginning onwards, right? It will.
Starts with, right? There is
Yes,
a
sir.
function called
Hmm.
starts with.
Yes, sir.
Starts with. Understand? So this can be,
Yes, sir.
it is a equivalent one. And this one, dollar. Dollar is equivalent to end with, end with,
Okay.
end with. Okay, that is the
Okay.
equivalent function in. Let me check that whether it will it work or not in invalid city, right? What is the end of the string for this attribute? Invalid city, correct? Invalid city.
City.
So here we have to define dollar symbol. Dollar. No, it's not highlighting. No. City invalid. Oh, invalid city is right, right? Copy this. I is caps. C is,
I.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is highlighting. So end with is working fine. Okay. Dollar symbol.
Okay.
So just let me define this as example. Invalid city. And this one, please enter is the value, right? Beginning of the value. Okay. Please enter. And end of the value, invalid city. Okay. So next one. To select a first child element. How do you select a first child element? To select first child element. The first child element. That means, see, there can be multiple child elements inside one element. Understand? See, for example, table tr first child. Select the child element. Mm. First child. Okay. Let us say that one example. Okay. If I go to this table, let us take this table. Okay, and highlight this. See, suppose in this row, I want to select a first element. This one 19. Understand? I want to select this 19 TD inside this or inside this T body. I want to select a first row. I want to select a first row. Are you clear? Select a first row inside this T body tag element. So how to do that one? First select table. How to define CSS path for this? Starting from division with ID, again table, inside that T body, right? Let us see that how to define CSS path for this. CSS is equal to division with ID, right? What is the division ID? This is the ID, correct? Copy that ID. ID equal to value, close the square bracket. What is the next one? Immediate child, right? Table is immediate child. So immediate child means greater than symbol have to use here in the CSS path, not the backslash, not the slash. Okay. And what is the table ID? Month table first. Class is there, not ID, class. So I can define here table bracket class is equal to, okay, again greater than symbol. Inside the table, T body colon first child, first child. So define here double quotes for all that values. Okay, let us say that which element it identifies. We are not identifying. No error also coming. Nothing wrong. division id space is there, ma. Okay, table class is equal to
Yes, sir.
month table first t body. Okay, now highlight. No, I think so. Space is there. Huh? First child, correct, right? Tr colon first child. Okay, see here I'm defining table space table. Okay, let me try this one. Yeah, it is highlighting good. That means see how it is working. Starting from table. Where is this table? See, this is the onward calendar division. Inside the division, table. Next tag. So we can use greater than symbol right here. Greater than should work, right? Because table is a immediate child, correct? So we should be able to use greater than here. That is what we are using. Okay. Inside the table, tr is not a immediate child here. That's why space is used here. Yeah, it is highlighting. Good. Okay. See, starting from this table, understand ma? See here, inside the division id we are using, and then
Yeah.
inside the division table is a child element, direct child element. So we are using greater than symbol. After that, in between, after the table t body is there, but I don't want to use this t body. Inside from this table, I want to select directly first to table tr element from this table directly. So I want to ignore this t body element. So that's why I'm using here blank space. Blank space means any child element, any ground child can be defined using blank space. But if we use greater than symbol, we should define immediate child element. Understand? So here I'm using blank space between the table and a tr. So in this tr, I want to get first child. So it is highlighting first child, first row in the table. Understand this? Now similarly, last child. We can
Yes, sir.
identify last row in the table. So by using last child, highlight it. See, it is highlighting. See here, that the last row is getting highlighting, but not showing in yellow color, but it is highlighting. See, green color, light green color is appearing here. If you observe that, understand? You have seen that the light green color is coming in that last row. It is highlighted.
Where, sir, it's a pic?
Border in the border at the
Mm-hmm.
border of that row. See that when I click find button.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you go to this second table,
What we have changed, sir, in that before script, before the command?
Before
the
we
before
used here first child, right? Now I
last
define
child.
last child.
Yeah.
Last child
Okay,
I
instead of first,
modified.
you change it to last, right?
Last child, exactly. Okay.
Okay, sir.
See, for example, if I take the
Okay.
second table, then you can see here, it will highlight, I guess, perfectly for second table. What is second table division? Okay. Table of two, right? It is table of two. Correct? Table. Okay, with the class value, I will define a class value here. Table with the class. Okay. Now highlight it. See? No, here also it is showing in green color only. Okay. Not highlighting in yellow color. That entire row. It is highlighting here this border lines in green color. Light green color.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So it is
Yes, sir.
working fine. That means last child we can use. Last child can be used here. Class T body instead of T body space tr colon. That is what we have used for first child. And now for last child, we will be changing simply the function here, last child. That's it. And now nth child. Suppose if you want to get a second row in this same table, in this second table, I want to get this row. This row I want to highlight. What is that row number? Suppose fifth row or fourth row I want to highlight. Then how to define that? By using nth child. What is that function? Nth hyphen child. That is a function we have to use. See that? Here instead of defining last child, we have to change it here. Nth child. N T H nth child within the square brackets define 5. See it should highlight. Oh, not a square bracket, normal brackets, okay? Not a square bracket. It is a normal brackets, parenthesis. Now find it, see. It is highlighting. Are you clear now? Green color is appearing in 9, 10, 11, 12 in the second table.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it is highlighting that fifth row. So like that we can select, we can identify nth element by using nth child function. Nth child function. Are you clear? So these are all different options we can use in CSS path. We can use CSS path to identify elements and how to define CSS path and what are the different options we can use in the CSS path that we have seen. See, in the real time, right, mostly we use XPath, but actually CSS path is better than XPath always. And CSS path is very faster than XPath. If you use CSS path to identify web element, that web element can be found, can be identified very faster than XPath. Because what is XPath? XPath means the path of the HTML tags in the HTML file, correct? But CSS path is not a HTML tags path. So it will, when you use the XPath, the Selenium will search that HTML file for that particular HTML hierarchy. But CSS path, it won't search that HTML file for the any hierarchy. It will directly identify that particular element without searching the HTML file. Understand? So that means it will identify
Yes, sir.
element which element is defined with this particular style name. So which elements are defined with this particular ID style, and then which element is directly defined with the CSS style name as a class. So using that style names, the web Selenium will directly identify web element without searching the HTML file. But if you use XPath, Selenium will identify the element by searching that HTML file for that particular HTML tags hierarchy. Based on the hierarchy what we define in the XPath, it would match as it is in the HTML file. So it will search that HTML file for that particular HTML tags hierarchy. Then it will identify the element. So a CSS selector path is a little bit faster than XPath in the execution. So that's why the CSS path is a preferred or better option than XPath. Understand what is a CSS selector and what is a XPath? So these two are very important. Go in XPath and CSS path, and what is that? Locators, where we have seen that locators. So what are the
Yeah.
locators in Selenium?
ID,
ID,
ID
by
name.
name, by link text, by partial link text, by class name, and by tag name, and by
uh,
XPath, and by CSS selector. And these XPath and CSS selector have many options. That means we can define XPath and CSS path in different ways by using different options. So those options we discussed in detail. What options we can use in XPath and what options we can use in CSS path creation. Understand? If you practice these two, then it is very easy in scripting Selenium to identify elements. We can identify very complex elements very easily by using this CSS path or XPath options. Dynamic elements can be identified very easily. Very complex elements can be identified very easily by using XPaths and CSS paths. If you know very well these CSS path and XPaths, then it is very easy to write a Selenium script. That means it is very easy to identify even very complex web elements in the web pages using Selenium. Understand? Any doubts, Govind, here in the locators? Locators is the main important concept, basic concept in Selenium. Locators, by using locators, Selenium identifies web elements in the web page. What locators are available? By ID, by name, by class, by tag name, okay, by XPath, by CSS selector, and by link text, by partial link text. These are the locators we can use in Selenium to identify different web elements in the web page. Any questions you have, Govin? So from next session, will be starting scripting. So you please practice these CSS and XPaths to identify different types of web elements in the applications. And from tomorrow, we will start with scripting. So what is our next topic? Let me see that. So we are here. Locators, correct? How to identify elements using
Yes, yes.
locators, that we completed now. This concept is completed now. So next one, starting with the scripting. Okay, then working with the different elements we already have seen, correct? How to work with the text box, check boxes, different types of elements, we have already seen this. And we will see this one, page loading and implicit wait. What is that? Page loading and implicit wait. And then how to automate validations, verifications in the test cases. Okay, then these are all scripting
Okay, sir.
concepts, remaining all concepts. So we will start with scripting concepts one by one from tomorrow session. So by till today we discussed the basic concepts of Selenium, how to identify web elements by using locators, and what all the different locators are available, and how to use those locators. Okay, any doubts, Govin?
Okay, sir. Yeah, as of now, no, sir. Just I will practice and let you know, sir.
Yeah,
Any
yeah.
doubts if I have any doubts.
Okay, I will send today this CSS file also, examples file. This file also I will share. Okay,
Okay, sir.
I will send this file. Just you can practice
Okay.
all these options, and if you have any doubt, we will see that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's it.
Sir, yesterday.
Mm,
Okay.
tell me.
Sir,
Yes.
regarding that, yeah, regarding that opportunity, sir, that the Ashini came, sir, came back, sir. Today